All right, Dave Cordero here before the Top Cut draft. I just want to go over a little bit of some of the prep work that I've done for this Top Cut format. So what I've done is I've gone through my entire collection and found the best deck in every house combination, and then ranked them in the order of the priority that I would like to get to them. So, like up at the top, we have Fatebreaker, which is the deck that I played in the Swiss portion. We got Caruso, which is the 5 die deck. You got Sultana. A lot of people know about that deck. Basically, up here, these like darker green colored and like the lighter green colors, these are all like reliable, proven decks that are basically what I'm aiming for in this draft, right? If I can get into any of those, I'm feeling pretty confident. Down here in this lighter green section, these decks are good, not necessarily proven, but I would be more than fine getting to those. Once you get down here into the reds and the yellow, you don't really want those. These bright yellow ones just mean that the deck is not physically in my possession. I need to get somebody else to verify it for me. But anyways, so how do I use this? Well, we've got this over here, which is the draft table. Simultaneous to having the draft spreadsheet that I made for everyone to do the draft that interfaces with each other, a lot of that work I used, or a lot of that work that I've put into that doubled up being useful here, where you can see that it has my decks loaded in here, so I can kind of have a real-time view of what's left. So like if I ban Brobnar, for example, you'll see that Caruso goes away, and it'll update what I have left, right? So that's one part about it. The other thing, sometimes like, you can be like, okay, like I definitely want to leave Logos or Star Alliance open for some of these, right? That's like one aspect of it, but then you also have these weights. This is basically the average of every single deck that has those houses in it left. So you'll see I do not want Mars, right? If I go into Mars, I'm not likely to get a deck that I really want to play. Like if you look in here, Mars, like sure, we got oddly Ubiquitous Volano, which top aided Vegas, I believe. Triad, that's a pretty good deck. Not a lot of board control, so I don't know if the meta really holds up with the meta. Miss Nitro, also a deck that I've played at a lot of Vault Tours and done well with in various events. Also a little bit low on board control, so that's why they were kind of at the low end of the proven deck spectrum. But like, if I'm forced into Mars, you'll see that it drops off. It's a steep drop off. So I want to avoid that, right? And so that's kind of what this sort of tells me, is that my highest priority is to ban Mars, right? So let's say I go in and I ban Mars. Then it updates all of these numbers. So now it's removed Mars from all of the potential decks. And you'll see that Brobnar would have been the next house to ban. But once you take out Mars, of the remaining decks, Sanctum is actually slightly worse than Brobnar, right? So it would recommend that if I can ban Sanctum, I would ban Sanctum, right? And then, you so on and so forth. Basically, you're not allowed to ban everything on every pick. There's limitations on what you're allowed to ban. So this kind of just tells me like, okay, like if you can't ban Mars, try to ban Brobnar, and that'll get you higher up in the list on average. Even though banning Brobnar would eliminate probably my best choice deck for the draft, right? It's just that if I miss on getting to Dis Logos Brobnar, now getting Dis Logos is kind of a tall ask, that if I fall down, where's the next Brobnar deck? Probably here, New Volari. Yeah, New Volari's fine, but, it just... get back to full screen. There we go. Okay, yeah. So essentially it's just like I can try to go for Caruso, or I can just draft averages, which is what this is telling me, right? So hopefully it works.